Watching college basketball on CBS Sports Network, presented by Chase Freedom Unlimited. Justin Bean, RJ Idlerock, and Utah State a big halftime lead in Reno against Nevada. Rich Waltz along with Dan Dickow. But Utah State shot 56%. They had a slew of assists. They had just 3 turnovers. This was a great first half.
Yeah, they did a really nice job of getting into their actions quickly and then be decisive. 12 assists in that first half. The ball was moving. It was being shared. It was a really nice offense for the Aggies.
And everybody contributed. Sean Bairstow, the guy that had not shot, he was 2 for 28 from 3 going into this game. And he had 2 threes and hit this sweet fadeaway. That opened the scoring, and then it was game on.
He has played well as of late, and as you mentioned, struggled shooting it from the perimeter so far this year, but you wouldn't have been able to tell by the way he shot it in that first half. But for the Wolfpack, KJ Himes, he doubled up his scoring average on the season in just the first half. He was really active on the offensive glass as well as in screen roll situations. They need more of that from him.
Right, I mean, it just jumps off the page. 12 assists to 18 field goals, and the turnovers impressive as well.
Well, a good job of, as I said, moving the ball with quick decisions and then being decisive for the Aggies. When you do that, you keep the defense on their heels. And on the flip side for Nevada, they are a good offensive team, but they're a little bit more isolation dependent, Sherfield in pick and rolls, as well as Cambridge finding open opportunities. They're going to have to get off to a good start offensively to climb back in this.
First possession, Utah State. And you can see Nevada already turning up the defensive pressure. Ashworth, it's a turnover, nicely done.
Good start for Nevada, just as you mentioned.
Blackshear with the steal. Sherfield going to the bucket. Horvath has the miss. Utah State has run off of those misses. Bairstow, oh, nice drop off. Bean missed a shot and held on to the rebound. It's tied up, held ball, and it goes Nevada's way.
Bean wants that one back. Rarely does he miss a point-blank opportunity at the rim.
Yeah, they're a really good two-point shooting team at the rim, Bean especially. If you're Nevada, if you're Steve Alford, how do you jumpstart the offense right now? Cambridge, or Blackshear, a 3. It ain't happening from 3 right now for Nevada. They are 1 of 12.
Well, you got to do it by that. Getting stops and then pushing the pace, getting out in transition, trying to find easy opportunities. Utah State has done a nice job of containing Sherfield and pick and rolls.
That's nice. Foster misses a layup. This crowd's not been a factor tonight. They really haven't had a chance to be.
Utah State has taken them out of
Idlerock off the Ashworth screen. Baker the rebound. Sherfield has nowhere to go right now. Baker muscles it up. Lead is at 16. Bairstow, beautiful, and a great block by Blackshear on Horvath.
A great pass, but then the extra effort from Blackshear to get back in the play. The energy activity has been much better defensively for the Wolfpack to start this half.
Jump hook, Blackshear missed it. Horvath with the rebound. He's got 5 rebounds to go with 4 points. It's getting it sloppy here to start things for Utah State. They had just 3 turnovers when this half started, and they've coughed it up already a couple times. Bean misses the 18-footer.
And this is where Utah State misses starting point guard Rylan Jones. Just a secondary ball handler to settle him down.
Ashworth a 3. That is points off turnover. A transition 3.
Well, that's one of those no, absolutely, heck yes shots. Ashworth plays with a ton of confidence. Coach Odom said his middle name should be Moxie today in our Zoom call.
That's right. Put that on the uniform. 8 points for Ashworth. That's his first 3. to go down. He's 1 of 5. Good head fake, great dish, beam the flush.
Well, it starts on one end, the turnover from Sherfield for Nevada, trying to squeeze it into a small space. Push in transition, can't get matched up.
Sherfield's, boy, it's been frustrating for him. He's 1 of 9 from the field. 11 of 34 is Nevada on the night. Horvath got a smaller man on him, backing Sherfield down, swings it, Bean again! Somebody guard that guy.
Well, they get the mismatch, and then another opportunity cut from Bean. That's beautiful basketball.
Sherfield launches. That's the best shot Nevada's getting right now. And wide open is Horvath. And Utah State is absolutely pounding Nevada. And you can hear the crowd right now letting the Wolfpack hear about it.
Justin Bean off to a great start here in the second half. Extra effort is what he provides. Opportunity cuts, making himself available. 2 early dunks here to start the second half. The Aggies are starting to pull away.
Tomorrow, 2 Eastern women's college basketball. Richmond and St. Louis. The CBS Sports Network, it tips off at 2 Eastern. And Dan Dickow, the Spiders of Richmond have rim protectors.
They do. You see some of the stats there. Nearly 6 blocks a game. That's something that this Utah State Aggie team doesn't do a great job of blocking shots, but defensively they've been active today, creating all sorts of problems for Nevada.
This right now is a 25-point beatdown for Utah State on top of Nevada, and Utah State doesn't have anybody in double figure scoring.
We've got 6 guys right now knocking on the door of double figures. A well-balanced attack. 6 players this year for the Aggies have scored 20 or more, so
Cambridge. End-to-end. Desmond Cambridge Jr. Maybe that's a spark. Himes is back in for Nevada. Ashworth off a cut. Kick back, Horvath 3. Look at Bean. Blocked from behind. Nicely done by Trey Coleman. Himes in the low blocks.
Nice job. Good defense by Utah State. Bean coming over from the weak side for the blocked shot.
They are sharing the basketball so well. 16 assists on 22 buckets. Bairstow, kick back, Bean launches, buries a 3. Now they've got a double-digit score. Bean has got a dozen to go with 4 rebounds.
And if you're Nevada, you've got to find ways to manufacture buckets. Usually it's Sherfield and pick and rolls, but Utah State has done a nice job keeping him out of the lane and not allowing him to create tonight.
Horvath drives, left hand, Himes fouls him. Horvath hits the deck. Justin Bean, MVP candidates. With 2 hands. A backside bucket. 26-point lead. You're watching college basketball on CBS Sports Network, presented by Chase Freedom Unlimited. Utah State up big, and a lot of time left here in the second half.
Justin Bean being very opportunistic, whether it's open threes or cuts. He's been tremendous to start this half. 12 points, 4 rebounds, 3 assists, 2 block shots. He is a contender for Mountain West Player of the Year.
And how sweet is this? He took his LDS mission to Reno. He was here for 2 years. In fact, remember, he walked on, but you have to commit as a walk-on. He committed to Utah State as a walk-on in a Subway. And no, they don't have a Subway here in Reno.
Yeah, I was just thinking that.
The sandwich place. I mean, that's typical Justin Bean. He didn't get a scholarship. He's at Subway getting lunch. He commits to go to Utah State. And he could be the MVP of this conference. He certainly has had an incredible career.
Well, you mentioned it earlier. Utah State has lost a number of close games, 2-5 in Mountain West. If it holds tonight, they'll move to 3-5. Had they been at the top of the standings right now, you'd be hearing a lot more of Justin Bean for Player of the Year conversations.
Oh, and that's the thing. I mean, every team seems to have an MVP candidate, right? I mean, Maldonado for Wyoming, Robinson for Fresno State, Roddy for Colorado State. That's a jump stop without a shot, which is travel.
Nevada out of sorts offensively. I don't remember a Steve Alford team looking this, I don't want to say confused on the offensive end of the floor, but not playing with a lot of purpose.
Great press break. Dorius the catch, and he's blocked. Himes has had a pretty good night for Nevada. Himes backing in. Dorius blocks it.
But that's not KJ Himes' game. Throw him the ball on the block and have him create. He's an offensive glass and screen roll guy.
Grant Sherfield just 1 of 11 in this game, 0 for 3 from distance. Of course, he's
nice pass.
19 points a game. And Utah State is up 30. Good cut and finish, Alan Husinovic. Bean not in there right now. Shulga, Bairstow, and his offensive game has been outstanding tonight. He's really blossoming. 10 points for Bairstow, 4 of 5 from the field, and he's 2 of 2 from distance.
He missed the first part of the year with an injury, and sometimes it takes you a little bit of time to get comfortable again, and he does look good. Just as that jump shot in the mid-range from Keenan Blackshear.
Ashworth to Dorius, and he's bumped on his way up.
Utah State continues to be unselfish, make plays for others. 18 assists now on the night. One of the best in the country as a team as far as creating opportunities for teammates.
Ryan Odom started our chat today with, hey, when we move the basketball, and I think our team has figured this out. They certainly did against San Diego State. We're really good offensively. When we swing it side to side, everything works. Back to a 30-point game. Long three, and Blackshear is having a nice second half. He's got 7 points. That's his first 3.
But he has played well as of late. Last 4 games, over 11 points per game, where on the season it's right around 7. So they need a spark, especially when teams really focus in on Sherfield and Cambridge.
Shulga missed the 3. Dorius lost the rebound. Baker on the floor. Ashworth has it. Fresh shot clock. Possession to Utah State. There's the swing that you like. Bairstow. That's a push. Blackshear pushing Horvath. We did not expect this. Utah State has come out and right now is on top. Big 65-38. Pair of technical fouls assessed to those two players, Brandon Horvath and Keenan Blackshear. We'll get there in a second. First, we drop in on the GAP top 10. Gonzaga tonight handling Portland easily. Auburn, that was a tight game for a while. Arizona was a little tighter than many people thought, but they beat Arizona State. You see Baylor did lose to Alabama. That Kansas-Kentucky game was lopsided most of the way. Just Kelvin Sampson in Houston just amazed that they lost their two best guards. They continue to thrive at 18-2. Here's the technical. Remember, the foul was called a shove right there by Blackshear. Now watch he and Horvath. And I think Horvath dropped a, hey, look at the scoreboard.
At the end of the day, that is always the best comeback. Is when you're battling for a win. Just kind of let them know what the score is, but good job by the officials making sure that didn't get out of hand in any way, shape, or form.
Horvath gets a chance to cool off. RJ Idlerock. Of course, he came from UMBC with Horvath. That's, you know, the two transfers for Utah State have played a long time for this coaching staff, so it's not like they're really strangers. Foster misses a left-handed layup.
It's the second layup now Foster has missed at point-blank range. One in the half court, that time in transition. Those are the ones where, as a coaching staff, you just got to say, maybe it's not our night.
Z Hamada. Bean, another three. Blackshear. Another rebound for him. Cambridge the miss. Shoga. I mean, it feels like there's 2 minutes left in this game, the way that you know, it feels that way, but there's this is the halfway point right now in the second half. 27-point lead. Bean whips it to the corner, and Hamada couldn't hold it.
Utah State clearly in control of this game. But court firepower of Nevada. They could make a run and make this interesting. Sherfield, one of the best scorers in the conference. Cambridge, a terrific scorer in his own right. Let's see if they've got something in the tank to make this interesting.
And the Utah State defense deserves a lot of credit here.
Well, they've been locked in on every pick and roll opportunity for Sherfield, not giving me angles or opportunities.
Baker the miss, tip, and the lob from Husinovic. That's a turnover. And Nevada now with 13 turnovers on the night. And what's happened is Utah State has turned those turnovers into points. 18-2 is the points off turnover total right now. Bean with that black eye and the patch above it, having another Justin Bean type night. Good ball movement. Horvath lost it. This is Cambridge. And he misses. Baker follows. And a little bit of a spark right now for Nevada. Foster called for the foul in the low blocks.
Nevada's got a little more active defensively with deflections. Cambridge not able to convert, but Baker, a tremendous job of not expecting a make. Running the floor, gets rewarded by 2 off the offensive rebound.
Ashworth doubled. Idle Rock rises and hits. He is a really nice player. And you pointed it out. Ryan Odom said that it takes him a while every year traditionally to get going. He's had him for 4 years now. And he's going now. He's averaging 11 a game in conference play.
He's a wing with good size. He doesn't force anything. He's got the experience in Ryan Odom's system to know where opportunities are going to come.
That's one thing that Coach Odom told us about both Horvath and Idlerock. They came here. They are senior leaders. They were for UMBC. But they knew that when they arrived, you had Justin Bean and Brock Miller, who were the senior leaders at Utah State. And so both of those guys were very aware of that and very careful not to come in and act like, hey, yeah, I'm a senior. I've been playing for 4 years. They knew it wasn't their team.
And that's really hard to do. And I think when you look at the world of college basketball now with the transfer rules and the immediate eligibility, both grad transfers, regular transfers, COVID extra years, the teams that have had easy transitions have made the most of it and been really good this year.
Idle Rock, another bucket. He's got 12 points.
You just can't allow that. Break the press and then give up a layup on the other end.
Foster is fouled by Bairstow. Gets picked up by a pair of Aggies. Good to see. 69-40 right now. Sharing is what?
Teamwork.
College basketball on CBS Sports Network is sponsored by Jeep. There's only one.
How about Utah State? All of a sudden, they've got 4 double-figure scores. Stephen Ashworth has been outstanding, 69-40. Coming up next, inside college basketball, Brent Stover, Wally Zerbiak, Shelvin Mack, and Seth Davis. That's coming up after this one in the Mountain West. Crowd here has been very quiet. They haven't had a chance because that guy, Justin Bean, who's got the patch and a bad black eye. There is a great article in the Deseret News about a relative of his, Willard Bean. Maybe Seth Davis knows about Willard Bean, who was a middleweight boxing champ, and he's known as the boxing parson. He was much like Justin was here in Reno, Willard Bean was a missionary, but a middleweight champ. And if you look at the picture of Willard back in the early 1900s, he looks like Justin Lott. I mean, it's pretty uncanny.
Well, to be a boxer, you've got to be relentless. You've got to be in great physical condition. And I think those are 2 attributes that make Justin Bean a great college basketball player.
I think Willard would have been a really nice college basketball player, too.
Could have been, yes. That's one sport I know I'm glad I never tried my hand at and never will try my hand at, is boxing.
I think Gonzaga used to have a pretty good boxing squad back in like the 20s, maybe the 30s.
I'm sure they did. They once had a football program.
Ashworth drives. Man, quick hops by Cambridge. Let's see if Nevada's got a run in them. Fletcher's had a good second half. Baker with 11 leads them. Cambridge, now he's got 11. Still a long ways to go with 7 minutes left. Bairstow, that's a 2. He only shoots 3s.
I guess so, but that was shot with the rhythm and the confidence of somebody who has shot it well throughout the year, hasn't struggled.
Coleman drives. Baker having a nice night, but he missed the putback. And Utah State with a basketball. Shimon Zapala off the bench for Utah State. That's him, number 12, setting a pick.
Another international big for Utah State. They've done a nice job recruiting internationally over the years. Nehemiah Keita comes to mind.
Idle Rock, clock is down. Missed the three. And Cambridge way up to get the rebound. Cambridge 11 points and now 8 rebounds.
So coming into this game, Sherfield was problem number 1 for Utah State to solve, and they've done a good job of it. Sherfield's created some problems on his own by forcing the action at times, but really, Utah State has been compact, making him play in a crowd, only 1 of 12 from the field.
5.5 minutes left. Nevada hasn't really been able to put a dent in this big Utah State lead. Himes is stolen. Bean is second in the league in steals. And hold on. Something happened down on the other end of the floor that I did not see. Bairstow, I think, was tangled up.
Technical foul on Utah State, number 2, Sean Bairstow.
Bairstow's going to get a technical foul. And I'm sure that once we take a look, we'll find it somewhere, somehow.
16 foul.
It goes as a personal and a team foul. Cambridge is shooting free throws. And it seemed to happen in front of the Utah State bench.
A turnover occurred, so we were both looking towards the other end of the floor.
So Bairstow's going to come out of the ball game. 25-point lead.
Substitution for Utah State, returning to lineup number 11, Max Schoda.
Cambridge rising for the baseline. Ashworth has been terrific tonight running this team. 8.6 assists, 1 turnover. Finds Idle Rock. It's just back and forth. And that's a 3.
Shot fake, attack the closeout, move it to the next guy.
Repeat.
Exactly. Repeat. Good offense from Utah State tonight. Just continuing to share the ball. 21 assists now on the night.
Ashworth needs 4 more assists. He's got a double-double. 11 points to go with the 6 assists. Hines. Kusinovic. Zapala had that rebound. The big guy getting in it.
Another assist there from Ashworth. Drag screen by Zapala in transition leads to the easy bucket.
Blackshear the miss. Shoulder the rebound. Under 4 minutes left. Yeah, Ashworth, 7 assists. He's got 6 rebounds too. Shoga driving and fouled. Stephen Ashworth was the 6th man on this team. Down went Jones, down went Miller. Now he's running the show and doing a great job of it. 74-44. Another big night for Utah State. 74-44, 3.5 left here in Reno. Geico Difference Makers, Utah State, Stephen Ashworth.
He's been tremendous with starting point guard Rylan Jones out. He has made all of the right decisions tonight, getting them into offense, making the correct play. And for Nevada, one of the lone bright spots has been Desmond Cambridge Jr. He's come in with the reputation of a jump shooter. He's expanded his game a little bit, but with Grant Sherfield struggling tonight, they've needed anything and everything from Cambridge, and he's tried, but it hasn't been enough.
We've had a really good conversation with Ashworth today about his recruitment in two phases of it. Sam Merrill had such a big impact on him. First, as Ashworth was a high school player at Lone Peak High School, he idolized Merrill, and then Merrill was part of him getting recruited. He went on the mission, was re-recruited, Merrill was there. And then after Craig Smith went to Utah, it was a question, well, you know, what do you do? And Ashworth talked about, he and Justin Bean met, and they talked about, well, do we talk about going somewhere else? And they both said no. And they had a lot of confidence in the athletic department that they were going to find a really good coach. And they found a really good coach in Ryan Odom.
Both of them have fit really well in the offensive attack. A lot of continuity, ball screen offense, pick and rolls to create opportunities for Ashworth. And I think Bean would fit in with almost any offense. The way he plays relentlessly and selflessly.
Norbert Thielsen right now for Utah State is in. Shulga, and he's bumped in the lane. Shulga is a really active player, a sophomore out of the Ukraine. He played for the under-20 Ukrainian team. The contributions of the bench tonight have been significant. Idle Rock was in that starting lineup, but Shulga's been good. Hamada's been good. Dorius has given them minutes, and of course they're hopeful they get Rylan Jones, one starting guard, back next week, and that Brock Miller, by the time February comes, which is that's a few days away. How about mid-February comes?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Well, he provides a three-point threat that can really stretch and space the floor. And Rylan Jones, terrific assist-to-turnover ratio on the season.
Travis Wagstaff in the game gets himself a rebound. Brock Miller is like the assistant coach of this club. Been in this program so long. In fact, Brock Miller has been through, I want to say, 4 different coaching changes.
Yes. Well, he was recruited by Stu Morrill.
Yes.
Then Tim Duryea took over, who's now at Boise State as assistant coach.
Craig Smith.
Yeah. And now Ryan Odom.
And now Ryan Odom. There's a steal. That's Shulga out in front. And Max Shulga. That's a technical. You can flush it, but if you hang up there a little longer like that, you're going to get it. I think he got his money's worth, though, from the looks of it.
Did. He's smiling about that one. He knew it. He tried to point at the Nevada Wolfpack player running underneath him and use it as an excuse, but heck, I couldn't have done that. I would have tried to do the same thing and hang on the rim if I could have.
How many dunks did you have in your Gonzaga career?
0.
How many dunks in the NBA?
0.
Did you ever come close?
No, I never even attempted it in a real game. I had one dunk in a game that was a summer Pro-Am League game in Portland years ago. It's the only dunk I ever had in a real game.
You know, I think when we were doing remote games last year, I think I saw the photo of that up on your wall.
You may have. You know, nowadays you got social media. I like to think that dunk would have went viral for my only dunk in a game in my career, but probably not. It was probably a fingertip dunk.
Under 2 minutes left. Bench has been emptied. Connor Gillis with the ball right now for Utah State. This is Gillis, cut off, and he walks. It's always tough when you come off the bench. You know, you want to get in, you want to get a shot up. Here's the keys to the game. Dan Dickau put this in motion about 2 hours ago.
Well, they did get off to Utah State, or excuse me, to a good start, did Utah State. They forced turnovers. And then for Nevada, they did an okay job keeping Bean off the glass, but they were not strong to the rim and really putting foul pressure on the Aggies.
So what do you make of this, Dan? I mean, as I look at this, Utah State beat San Diego State decisively, beat them by 18, scored against the number 3 defense in the country, and Nevada's got star power. I mean, those two guys, Sherfield and Cambridge. Nevada was 3-3 in the conference, and this was a runaway early.
Well, for Nevada, we can start with them. They've got a tough stretch coming up. They only have 3 home games left the rest of the season. And then for Utah State, you know, their net is good. They're at 61. Obviously, this road win will help. But they've got some opportunities coming up at Wyoming, at San Diego State, and at Boise State in particular. Could be potential quad 1 wins to really bolster their potential resume.
This is Connor Odom, who got a good look at a 3.
He wants it again. Let it go.
No. Jalen Weaver with a steal and the dunk. You got the scout team out there right now for Utah State. Guys that deserve some run and some time. Gillis. Zapala. Odom has it. Right in front of Dad, who says, get a shot up. Gillis. Final seconds in Reno. An impressive, and I mean impressive, win by Utah State. And this one got away early. Brian Odom and the Aggies are hot. They don't look like a 3-5 team right now. They beat San Diego State by 18. They take down Nevada 78-49. And even though they're not up in that top half of the standings right now, in about 2 or 3 weeks, they might be above 500 and challenging. They improved to 3-5, Nevada 3-4.
Utah State looked terrific tonight. 10 of 27 from beyond the arc, 22 assists. But their defense really created a lot of issues for Nevada. A great road win in the Mountain West, which is hard to come by.
Attention, Mountain West teams. Utah State is getting a lot better. For Dan Dickau, our entire CBS Sports Network crew, I'm Rich Waltz. This presentation of CBS Sports Network, 24-hour home of CBS Sports. On to Inside College Basketball. Take it away, Brent Stover.